I want to tell you a little story about taking China for granted. This company, for example, Nature Hike, you might have heard of them. They sell all over the world. They're really connected in the outdoor equipment industry. Annie went to school with the guy that owns Nature Hike. I remember going to his little warehouse when he was selling stuff on Taobao. And his name is Xiaoji. Really nice guy. But to be honest, it wasn't that good of quality stuff. It was the kind of stuff that you would kind of associate with China made. It was that sort of cheap, high quantity, low quality merchandise. But one thing about Chinese businessmen, and you know what, I'm not even gonna say Chinese businessmen, I'm gonna say good businessmen in general. There's a lot of bugs here. Look at this, look at this guy, the daddy long legs. Daddy long legs, where'd he go? He's gone. There's a stigma around the quality of Chinese stuff. At one time, maybe it had some merit. Maybe at one time, Chinese built buildings that were low quality, Chinese made products that were low quality. Oh, that's cheap. Where is that? Made in China? That was a euphemism that was very common in America. Sadly, it's still common in America. And there's this underestimation of what China can do. And I think that that's where, I don't know when that happened, but I think it happened about, I don't know, 20 or 30 years ago. Whereas China was learning from past mistakes. They were growing, they were maturing. They were going from this, this industrial nation that thankfully, you know, for Chinese people, America was using diligently. I'm really frustrated sometimes with this attitude of Americans looking down on China, saying, how dare they advance? They were the country that made cheap stuff, and they don't make cheap stuff anymore. Hello. Are you catching bugs? Boom, 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 boom. Like, it's kind of funny because I knew Xiaoji from Annie's high school buddy and from a warehouse full of fairly cheap outdoor merchandise. But today, I mean, like those tents behind us, there's a new brand Nature Hike has created. It's called glamping, glamorous camping. And it's good stuff. High quality canvas, really good quality stitching. They make some fantastic sleeping mats and camping tents and all sorts of outdoor equipment. People from all over the world now contact me and say, hey, have you heard of this Nature Hike brand? And I have to say to them, yeah, I remember. Annie went to school with them. That is the progression of any successful person, whether it's a country or a person or a group or a society. If you focus and continue the hard work and you have the work in order to learn, like a guy that's building homes. The first home he's going to build is going to be probably shitty. The second, a little bit better, but you learn from every build, and by the end, you're great. I think you need to reformat what you say. China made shit. For the right price, China can still make shit. If you want a cheap enough product, they can still make that shitty product. But their range is much greater because they've learned from making all of that low quality merchandise, and now they've put all of those mistakes to use, and they can build some high quality houses. They can make some high quality products. And you can't discount them for that anymore. Nature Hike makes some of the best outdoor equipment you can get. Maybe not quite North Face quite yet, but pretty damn close. Maybe in some categories, yes. No matter who you are, if you're diligent, you work hard, and you repeat over and over, and you learn a little bit from the previous build for the next build, the previous product for the next product, eventually you're going to make some really amazing products. And I think that's where the West has fallen short. They've ridden the wave of innovation, and they've kind of rested on their laurels, and they feel like, well, we've made great stuff. We don't need to make any more great stuff. We already make great stuff. We're the best. There's nothing better. We're the best. Whereas China's like, We need to be better. 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 And, you know, there's this thing in China. Chinese don't like to be first. They technically don't like to be on the top. Because, you know, when you're a little bit low, you want to strive to be better every time so that you can keep up or succeed. It's kind of JaYoe, add fuel to life. Always add that fuel, always work harder. Once you're on the top, I think you sort of get lazy and you start to take for granted the advancements of the past and say, well, we were great once, we're going to be great always, and that's just the way it is. As opposed to China, who has always been struggling and trying to move forward and trying to improve, a lot like Xiaoji and Nature Hike. He's always known that he's not been the best, so he's always striving to be better and better and better. And there's a bit of a double-edged sword with being the best, because once you get to the top, or what you think is the top, you end up getting lazy. And you might relax, and then that turtle is gonna cross past that hare. And I mean, I was very surprised when I found out that Xiaoji was making the quality of stuff that he's making today. But it's a euphemism for the way China has been progressing in a way a lot of people have been taking for granted. I think you look up a lot of stuff. The Three Gorges Dam is falling apart. It's a piece of shit. China builds ghost cities. China builds buildings that fall apart. The foundations are horrible. Maybe a long time ago they built horrible foundations, but you know what? Those foundations have been replaced with robust, stronger foundations, and they've been improving and improving. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. And they don't realize that to their detriment. I'm on the ground here in China. I realize it. I see it all the time. I'm involved in industry. Not only have I been a businessman, but my wife and all of her friends are businessmen. Her people that she went to high school with are businessmen. They're not connected with the government. They're not CCP shills. They're not all of this craziness. It's this kind of funny thing, like the only successful thing in China is something that's connected to the government and controlled by the governmental overlords. That's not true. There's a lot of independent businesses that are growing up here in China from ideas spawned from energetic, future-minded people. And the longer we take that for granted, the worse off the whole world's going to be. Because if we can compete against each other, we'll always move up and up and up. But the second some of us get lazy, we end up all losing. Anyways, just a thought. Because I see this is a very physical example. My friend with Nature Hike, a business in China that's become sort of global, that is known for much better quality than when it was originally in the market. And I'm proud of that company, and he's proud of himself, and he should be. He put in the effort, just like I'm proud of any company that puts in the effort, or any venture that ends up being successful because of hard work and sweat equity. Just don't underestimate each other, and don't label, because once you start labeling, you don't give the people the credit they deserve, and if you don't give people the credit they deserve, then you know what? Tomorrow they might be bigger than you, and you won't have any excuse. Anyways, JaYoe Nature Hike, good on you. I'm proud to be your friend, Xiaoji.